That's a bit abrupt.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you, fam.
Beautiful. That's the outro.
You got new toys. Speaking of two toys, Caleb, what was your favorite toy growing up?
I love toys.
Okay, let's go for round two. All right, the reason why we're bringing up McDonald's toys, and once again, this is Roland and Caleb with Floor Popcorn, your number one debate podcast on most popular movies of the decade.
I think we have like 30 downloads in total.
The most popular this side of Riverside County.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it probably is.
I think so.
I
know my mom thinks so. I haven't told her about this yet.
What else would be the most popular?
So today, folks and friends and family, we are doing a movie from my childhood and from Caleb's.
Like
before
3 weeks ago,
way before he was born. It was actually, I think this movie was made the same year I was born, 87. I'm pretty sure.
Is it 87? I don't think it's 87.
I think it's 87.
Is it?
We are watching Mac and Me, and for anybody who is either a Matt Damon or a Jimmy Kimmel fan, you know this movie very well. Do you know why that is, Caleb?
88. That's what I thought. 88.
No, that's what I thought. You thought it was older, you asshole.
No, I didn't think it was older. I thought there was another 8.
Do you know why, Caleb, I bring up Jimmy Kimmel and or Matt Damon?
I do not. Wait, The Happening?
Okay, so
The Happening and Mac and Me?
So there's a long-running joke where Jimmy Kimmel ends his show every night, be like, and tomorrow's guest is Matt Damon. He's had Matt Damon on about 7 different times, and every time Matt Damon comes on, he cuts the show short. As soon as Matt Damon goes to speak, he ends the show. And the reason why I bring that up is because he has this other long-running gag with Paul Rudd. Anytime Paul Rudd is on the show, instead of showing a clip for whatever Paul Rudd's movie is that he's promoting, he shows a clip of Mac and Me when the kid's going off the cliff. He's done it to him about 7 times now, where instead of showing Ant-Man
I have seen that.
He does his clip. So if anybody is a Jimmy Kimmel, Matt Damon, or Paul Rudd fan, you know the movie we're talking about. Or if anybody went to Blockbuster before 1993, you know this movie very well as well.
If you've ever drank a Coke or ate Skittles,
you probably don't know about this movie because McDonald's bailed real hard. They bailed real hard on this movie. It's a giant endorsement. This one movie about E.T. ripoff is a giant endorsement for Macca's. If you're from Australia, it's called Macca's.
While you're talking, let me pull up the best review on Letterboxd of Mac and Me in the fucking world.
I hope it's from the kid in the wheelchair, which I'm dead. You're going to have to look this up while we're on air.
I probably will have to look this up.
But I'm pretty sure the kid who's in the wheelchair for the movie, I'm pretty sure he's a handy-capable actor, is what I'm believing.
Not sure why, but I have the strongest desire to drink a can of Coke, eat some Skittles, head down to McDonald's for a burger, and then hang myself.
Oh, yeah. That's all promoted in the movie, actually, yeah.
If you have never seen Mac and Me,
that's a director's cut, actually.
Yeah, this is exactly how you're going to feel at the end of this film. Guys, we are on a very, very big hiatus for a little while. Roland had a herniated disc. He had to move houses. I had strep throat. We could not meet up.
You had strep throat twice, stupid.
I have strep throat right now. Yeah. I have strep throat right fucking now. I got it again.
New mics.
I got it again. Are you fucking kidding me?
What happens when you find snakes in the road, dude?
That is what happens.
He's snakes in the road.
He's a very good boy. He likes his hammock. He likes his...
You're talking about your snake's hammock, dude? That's fucking nasty, man.
Yeah, he has a hammock. Oh, that's true. He has a literal hammock. No, I'm not talking about his balls. All right? I'm talking about his hammock. Okay. You don't have to be sexual, all right?
So, you guys, back to the movie. Caleb made me watch this movie.
No. Let's talk about why I made you watch this movie.
I think lost a bet.
We said it before, but let's say it again. You lost a bet. You felt really confident. You were like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat Caleb in pool.
I'm gonna beat him in cool. First of all, if it was a cool contest,
wait, hold on. What movie were you gonna pick?
Oh, he didn't. Probably Batman Forever.
Oh, okay. Because I was curious. You would not tell me what you were going to pick. And I told you from the very beginning, I was like, hey, if I win this, we're doing Mac and Me.
Probably Batman Forever.
And I was kind of hoping that was going to be like your inspiration to not lose that game.
Oh, no, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about geometry. I don't give a fuck about geometry. Geometry can go suck a dick. I finally understand algebra, but geometry can go suck a dick.
And didn't you say you were going up on your beard? Because it looks like it's getting lower and lower.
I can't go up on my beard. When you just came up with that, I never said that.
No, I have that on recording.
Never talk about my beard.
I have that on recording. Horror Soup, I think it's episode 12 of Short Stuff.
Go up on your beard? What does that even mean?
You're lying.
Oh, yeah.
Cover the dimples.
I tried. It didn't work.
You said you tried, but it looks like you went... Actually, your right side right there looks lower than left side.
Yeah, that's why it didn't work. I sleep on my right side. That's why.
That's not how that works.
You ever seen when like a piece of plywood falls on someone's lawn and then it like kind of doesn't grow like right where the plywood is? That's exactly what happened.
So that's what's going on right now.
Why does that seem like a very specific?
Is that why the left side of my beard, right in between my chin and my cheekbone, is slightly
where you rest
patchy?
the cock.
That's
where you rest the dick.
Oh, that's what's going on.
Dick, yeah.
So all those times I was sucking giant cocks.
I don't know about giant, but it's a shape for sure.
Oh, God. So that's what was going on. You know, I would have never known. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. Everything you heard in the first couple episodes of this podcast, disregard it, because we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. And you know what we want?
Debates with a coin flip.
No, that's not what we want. We want to talk about Mac and Me.
Mac and Me.
Mac and Me, baby.
Brought to you by you. Okay, so you have notes on this, right? You.
I have full notes on this.
Okay, so who wrote and directed it?
Don't have that much.
Okay. Well, the actor in the wheelchair, what's his name? Okay. Well, let's start at the beginning then, shall we?
Yeah, you want to start at the beginning?
Mac and Me.
I actually have it all up right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and just look this up.
I like how you said I have it all right here, like you're pulling it out of a file when you just IMDb'd it.
I have it all right. I have it all right here. Jade Caligari.
Calgary, I think.
No, Caligari.
Oh, is it Calgary?
Yeah, it's like a category, but calligraphy.
Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah.
It's kind of a mix.
Like a spooky ghost.
There's a Martin West. There's Christina Samboli.
Which she was in the Lonesome Dove.
Her last name's Ebersole, so I don't know if you... Are you sure she's in something?
No, she's probably
not. She's not in anything. Tina Cosplay.
You know what's something interesting, actually? When I looked up the actors and actresses in this movie, each one of them have only been in 3 things. Every single one of them.
Well, yeah, that's not surprising.
It's weird. It was very coincidental that they've only been in 3 things, though, each of them. Not in the same 3 things. But
the director is Stuart Raphael. He has made The Ice Pirates, The Philadelphia Experiment, The Adventures of Wilderness Family, High Risk, Mannequin 2 on the Move, Tammy and the T-Rex, Survival Island, Across the Great Divide, Standing Ovation, Grizzly Falls, The New Swiss Family Robinson, Sirens of the Caribbean, The Sea Gypsies, A Month of Sundays, Passenger 57, When the North Wind Blows. This guy has too many movies that no one has ever seen.
Wait, hold on. First of all, you criticize him for his poor production value or his bad directing, but you better give him the credit
Lost in
having
Africa.
A consistency of poor named movies.
I will give him that. I will give him that.
Is accurate in that endeavor, because all those movies are the worst.
He sticks to his guns.
Yeah,
he sticks to his guns, and I will.
How does somebody like
that.
And I fuck me, I haven't done anything with my life, but you look back at like how like I would rather have done nothing with my life than to be attached to. Give me one more of those names. Shoot me one more of those names of this movie that this guy's done. Give me 3. Give me 3.
Lost in Africa, Napoleon and Samantha, Maneater.
I said 3 because though I don't need any more of these. Maneater's not bad. Maneater could be. That is far.
If you guys need a translation, Roland was trying to say that is fucked, but he kind of lost his breath and kind of just fell over on the side of the road.
You can play it back. You can like that was actually one of my favorite sounds growing up. Can I say this? I'm gonna get canceled, but
that's fine. You can say whatever.
But it was.
This is our show.
Wasn't that because I think I made that sound. My cousin used to cough like that, but when a hefty, what's the word?
Fat.
Somebody who could appear in the movie Heavyweights could when they do that.
Oh, I know what you're looking for. Someone that would be walking around to this.
Cheap shot, dude. Cheap shot.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, I wasn't. All right, let's just talk about the movie then.
Funny stuff, man.
Let's talk about the movie.
Funny stuff, man.
It's not that funny. I'm bored here. Let's get it.
All right, guys, let's get into this movie. I've been waiting I've had my notes for this for fucking ever. All right, you want to just get right into it?
Let's jump.
So, Mac and Me starts out with probably the most absurd fucking aliens possible, and the giant alien is like sucking water out of a straw.
Wait, when did we land on Mars for real?
That's a good question. Do you want me to look that up? Do you want an actual answer for that?
Well, yeah, you go look it up. I'm gonna let the listeners dial in first.
Okay.
Okay, we got Samantha online too. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Samantha.
Samantha.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, we don't have the phones hooked up to this. Okay, we can hear Samantha.
July 4th, 1997.
July 4th, 1997. So that's July 4th, 1997. 1997? So this movie was supposed to take place in the future? Is that what you were saying to it? Because it was a pretty accurate portrayal of what the Mars rover looks like.
It was a very good portrayal because this was 1998. 1997 was the year I was born. So we landed on Mars a few months before I was born.
Wait, is that when Space Jam came out? You were born during Space Jam?
Yeah, that actually sounds about right. I mean,
when's your birthday?
I grew up on Space Jam, September 1st, 1997.
Dude, Space Jam came out a month before you were born.
No. November 15th, 1996. Almost a year before I was born. Nearly a year before.
Okay. But you've seen the intro to Mac and Me, right? Obviously.
Yes.
No,
I didn't watch this movie, actually.
It looks pretty accurate to a Mars rover landing.
It does.
Wow,
it actually looks very good.
Now I'm a little confused.
Are you sure this is a bad movie? Because...
Yeah, I'm sure, actually.
They're pulling some very intelligent stuff.
Really interesting here.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, they're sucking water out of a straw as this
Who is sucking water? Explain what these motherfuckers look like. Because if you've ever seen
okay.
a cartoon portrayal of sea monkeys, you might have an idea.
Honestly, yeah. If you've seen the episode of South Park, when Cartman gets all of those little sea monkeys,
that's literally what they look like in the comic books when you're in the 50s. Like I have a couple of those comic books. They literally look like that weird with the toes for hands.
That's exactly what they look like.
And that's what these guys look like, basically. Toe-handed, head-toed people.
Are you mad about it though?
There's no.
Oh, you are mad about it.
Like, why couldn't you make them because it goes for the direct ET ripoff without being an ET ripoff, and it's horrible. They look like elongated scrotums, dude. It's not a cute. What they were going for is cute because they put the big eyes and the weird Shrek ears on it. And
okay, but I'm gonna ask you a question. Have you ever seen ET?
Yeah, he looks
worse.
He looks like a Spaniard's fucking nutsack.
Do you think that E.T. looks any better than the creatures on Mac and Me?
Yes,
you do.
Yes, he does.
You do. When's the last time you looked at a picture of E.T.? Because I'm actually looking at a picture of him right now, and it's even worse than I remember.
He looks like if a periscope and a ball. He looks like if a periscope from a submarine and a ball sack had a child. That's exactly what he looks like.
Yeah, he does. And you know what? I actually think the Mac and Me creatures look much better than...
No, they don't. They don't.
E.T.
They're horrifying. When they're running, they look like the fucking things from Signs, dude.
Dude, they look fucking incredible. But they're sucking water out of this straw as this spacecraft decides to land. And all these alien dudes, they're fairly...
By the way, that water sucking out of a straw is foreshadowing. Yeah, that is genuine movie foreshadowing, folks.
At its fucking finest. These dudes are fairly confused about what's happening when the spacecraft lands, but they decide to approach this foreign object, and one of them touches the device, and he grabs this space rock sample.
Which I wasn't joking, like, about it being a fairly accurate portrayal of like a Mars rover on Mars and this terrible puppet walking.
Do you think NASA made this movie?
I think Stanley Kubrick made this movie.
Stanley Kubrick?
You're saying that word.
You think Stanley Kubrick made this movie?
Why are you putting extra R's in that word?
Stanley Kubrick?
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 Kubrick? Okay. Rubik's Cube?
Yes. Stanley Rubik's Cube.
Stanley Rubik's Cube.
All right.
I've heard of him.
All right. No, this is no malarkey. Okay, I get it.
So all these alien dudes, they're really confused, but they approach this foreign object anyway. They touch it. This little tube starts moving around, and what does this tube do? It's no big deal.
It's a vacuum tube. It is taking samples from mid-air, which is where you want to take samples from.
It's not taking samples. It is taking full aliens.
Yeah.
It is taking full
grown-ass aliens that are the shape like the fucking Harlem Globetrotters all of a sudden get vacuumed up in the worst CGI you've ever seen in your life. Look like reverse Shrinkadinks.
Okay, I just watched Birdemic and took notes on it yesterday.
That's not CGI. That's some like old school like fucking... Yeah, that's not CGI. That's
CGI at its finest. CGI at its finest. Have you seen Birdemic?
Yeah, I've seen it.
You've seen Birdemic?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
A long time ago.
Okay, I'm glad. So all of these alien dudes, they get sucked up. It starts with the smallest one, who is our main character, and it kind of just like flies
sucked
off
up
with them.
very cartoony into a vacuum. It's like a normal ass vacuum. It's not like some crazy space vacuum that would have crazy suction power that would suck them in like a. It is literally a fucking Hoover dust devil hooked up to a fucking Mars rover, and they magically Tim Allen Santa Claus their way goddamn down the throat of this thing. And they're trapped inside. And the future technology that we don't even have yet of the Mars rover returning back to atmosphere on its own just literally launches back up. It's like, oh, I got the aliens that I needed to get this whole time. Launches its happy ass back into space and makes its way back to Earth. Is that correct?
You're talking about this like there's a problem with that, but I am okay with everything that you just stated.
What about physics? Did you forget physics all of a sudden?
No.
Yeah, I know our listeners didn't forget physics.
I choose to ignore physics.
Yeah, our listeners might have forgot about us, but didn't forget about physics.
So yeah, anyway, this machine makes its way back to Earth, and our good old spacemen are conducting spaceman experiments on it, and they find the rocks, the sand, it's all fine and dandy until they take off this panel, and this small little alien emerges, and shit just starts to fucking explode.
Which they were very ill prepared for.
They were not ready for this.
Yeah, even though they kind of called it, like they knew that something was inside of it. Like they just went in. It's kind of like how the cops were on the OJ trial, where nobody had gloves on. They're just picking up shit. Like they're like, oh, there's rattling in there. We thought there might be aliens, but maybe there could be an alien trapped in our fucking Hoover vacuum, and they just fucking pop it open. Not even fucking thinking all willing, and all of a sudden,
they're very irresponsible.
Yeah, these aliens just explode out because they're like they have some weird like attachment to electricity, like some magnetic fields and electricity, right? Would you say that?
I would say that.
Yeah, that's pretty. They love sucking things out of anything.
Same.
Out of straw-like and peripheral devices.
Right here, buddy.
And they have some sort of electrical attachment to the universe.
Yes,
and
that's a good explanation.
And and explain them. There's 3 of them, right? Is that correct, or is it 4 of them? It's 4.
No, there's 4. There's 4 or 5.
There's 4. So it's supposed to be like the Platonic family. It's supposed to be very Simpson-esque. It's a mom, a daddy alien, a son,
there's
and
5 characters
maybe a
daughter.
You don't count Maggie. Maggie's God mode.
You don't count Maggie?
Yeah, she's God mode. She's like above the Simpsons.
Okay. She's above the Simpsons?
Yeah, she's above it. She is a Simpson. She is a Simpson.
Okay, I'll take it.
I don't count it. You count them as a nuclear family.
So anyway, yeah, the bigger aliens start to emerge, and they kind of just stare off at these science bitches while they decide to go off on their merry way. And the whole goddamn army shows up, and the tiny little alien scampers off leprechaun style and then flings himself into the road and gets smashed by a car. And it's okay, though, because he's actually elastic. And some car crashes happen, everyone starts to rabble, and some lady sprays an unnecessary amount of fire extinguisher. And we see this family inside of a car. This kid is drinking... What's he drinking?
Coca.
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot.
Coca Cola.
So this gives us our first sponsor of the film. And during this...
Are you sure they were a sponsor? I don't know. Maybe the cast just like really liked it.
Maybe they just really like Coca Cola.
They really liked it. A very enjoyable,
You're probably right. I'm probably looking...
sugar caffeinated.
I think you're right. I think that's just something that they want to drink during the episode. I think I'm just looking too much into this. So the alien homie sneaks into the vehicle and takes a good old sip of Coca Cola. And the youngest accuses his brother of taking the Coke, to which he denies. And we hear Mac burp in the back of the car, to which they all have a good, hearty...
epileptic seizure and the mom crashes and the movie's over.
Yes, and we see that this family is moving into a new house. We also learn that our child character is in a wheelchair, as Roland mentioned earlier so great.
Yeah, it's kind of like a twist. The way they do it is like they don't show that the kids in a movie, it's like the big reveal, like the pretty girl at prom who wasn't like pretty when she got invited to prom. Like that's how they pull him out of this van. Like, oh, he's in a wheelchair all along. Like he's more than just a little brother. He's a little brother with problems.
So Mac is kind of just like chilling in plain sight, but for some reason no one seems to notice him. So everyone is sitting.
He's just like amongst their like packaged stuff, right? Like you guys packed the shit. You guys know you didn't have a little nutsack alien fucking when you fucking packed your clothes.
Well, they didn't notice him at all. They're not paying any mind to him. So yeah, it's not that they just like shrugged it off. They're not aware. Mm-hmm. They're not aware of this. So Mac is literally just popping up and out of every fucking corner while narrowly avoiding being seen. And Homeboy starts playing with a toy car and takes the battery out, and Mac somehow gets the car moving by touching it and giving it a good old electric shock.
He's electrical, bruh.
He is electrical.
He's electrical, bruh.
I'm an electric feel. And we now know that Mac has electricity powers because he also turns his TV on by doing like absolutely nothing. And this wheelchair guy, he's very not happy about this, but he's just kind of like, all right, whatever. I guess TV's turned on. So his mom brings him some food, and of course, with a Coca Cola sitting on the top of the plate, as is tradition. Eric then notices that the shower has been on, and he sees footsteps leading to the kitchen. He's like, okay, what the fuck? Mac runs out the door.
Hey, be honest. Be fair. Be fair though. How many friends did you have growing up where
That
like
just took a shower in your house and then just leave?
Nah, that like would only have like Diet Coke. They would have like or they would be like Sprites and Cokes, like always in the corner of their house. Like they just had like they always had a stock of fucking sodas. Like how many? Like
Bree, my co-host on Horror Soup.
yeah, dude. So that's a real thing. Like she
is diabetic and all she drinks is diet soda, and it's everywhere. Yeah, please never do that again.
Okay.
So Mac runs out the door. Eric asks if his neighbor saw what happened, and she's like, "Yeah, dude, yeah. You know, he went over yonder." And he's like, "All right, bro. All right, Mo. I'm not lying. I saw something." They're not having it though, and then we move on to.
Wait, are you talking about the little girl that was across the street?
No, he's talking to Bo and Mo, brother and mother.
Oh, I get that now.
There we go. So Mac wakes up and he watches the shenanigans inside of the house, and Eric gets tucked into bed by his mother saying something like, "You know what? I don't think that thing was that bad. All it did was take a shower and drink a soda." And then the mom's like, "Oh, I'm sure it was just one of the neighbor kids or something," as if that wasn't incredibly alarming. Like, I guess if you lived here for a while and maybe a neighbor kid took a shower in your house, maybe that's one thing. You just moved into this house. You don't remember that part?
No, I don't remember that part.
Well, Mac took a shower, like I said a second ago, and then just ran out. And he was just like, yeah, this kind of is...
Is the next part when he messes up the inside of the house at the middle of the night?
We're getting there.
Okay.
So the next morning, Eric is awoken by his toy car moving around the place with seemingly no one controlling it. And his brother's still asleep. He follows the car to the living room, and it drives right toward him, and it stops. He then looks to the side, and something drills a fucking hole in the drywall. And
yeah, dude,
his eye.
Really fucking creepy, dude. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's like almost like he had a crush.
It's kind of like why? It's like, why is he doing this? Like, where did he learn to use a power drill?
Very Saw 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, very like does he have a crush on him? Has he been following him because he has misdeeds as somebody in a handy? Like, I don't understand.
Where did this alien learn to use a power drill?
Where did he learn to be so creepily follow up too? He looks right in that hole and like looks right at that kid's soul, dude.
You're not wrong about that.
Nope.
So this thing continues to use power saws to cut holes all over the fucking house, which is definitely going to piss Janet off, which is the mother. And Mac puts his face through the hole in the door and then runs off. Somehow, Mac brought nature into the house.
Dude, it looks like the boring part of a zoo. Like, that's the best way to describe it. It looks like where the ducks are. Like, it literally brought in, like, the boring side of the zoo. Like, where you can, like, where the rhino's like, oh, the rhino isn't here this weekend because he's fucking hibernating or some shit. Like, it's impressive what he brings. But, like, it's not even from the nature there. There's fucking cattails and like there's birds inside.
Yeah, they're 100% is. And as I predicted, Janet's not too happy about this.
Yeah, the reason why I bring that up is because, like, dude, your kids are not that impressive.
Hold on, we're gonna get to that. I have that all written down. We'll get to that soon, very soon. So Eric has a bad time, and he cries and heads outside to cry in peace. And he wheels himself over to a hill in the back of all of nature's glory. And the neighbor girl notices and like heads over. She's just like, "Oh, what's this guy doing over here?" Unfortunately, Eric isn't the smartest tool in the shed, and he ends up flying down the hill straight into a river that happens to be in his backyard.
Yeah, and this is the scene that I was talking about before of the kid going like out of fucking like ham down this hill that he has no control over. And he's like screaming, and it's obviously like a dummy in a wheelchair. It looks so fucking terrible. Like, it looks so awful. Like,
I don't agree. I thought that was him.
Dude, when he falls off the cliff, like how it falls, like when you like oh, it's Pepper.
It's Pepper.
When you're throwing like dice, like that's what it looked like somebody threw some like human dice like down a cliff, like he had no control, and then he hits the water in his wheelchair like a dummy,
He's drowning real good as the neighbor
all of
girl
a
screams
sudden,
for help.
Mac and me can fucking swim like a dolphin, like at fucking SeaWorld, and can like pull this little dude on his back, like like supersonic.
Well, he's a
speeds.
Lapras from Pokemon.
Yeah, dude, obviously, because like I
He's
have
a
no
Lapras.
idea. Like he was moving, that was jet propulsion, and so the only way you could do that is if he was one big open hole, which makes sense for this.
But yeah, and then he saves him, and then he disappears off into the water.
Yeah.
And Janet and his brother Michael see him at the back of the shore, but they're just like, they don't see how he got back to the shore, so they're like, what the fuck? You're kind of paralyzed, but all right, that's fine. So the doctor asks Eric what he's been seeing, and Eric's just like, all right, dude, so Debbie knows about what's going on, so go ask Debbie. He's like, I'm not asking Debbie, I'm asking you. And then he's just like, all right, whatever, fuck you, doctor, man. And Debbie's sister shows up in none other than a McDonald shirt. As she is leaving, Michael introduces himself, and she's like, hey, I'm Courtney. I'm Debbie's sister. And the dialogue goes as such, quote unquote. Michael, hey, McDonald's, huh? Courtney goes, yeah. Debbie goes, why don't you stop by for a Big Mac? That's the end of the scene.
Oh, that's the wrong button. Sorry, guys. I messed up.
You're doing terrible at the
I know.
soundboard thing.
I want the. That's it. That's what I want.
You're doing fucking
Say it again. Say it again, Debbie. Why don't you go get a Big Mac? Oh, I did the wrong one again.
Leave the soundboarding to me.
Okay.
You put the crickets on. God damn it. I hate this.
Back to Debbie.
So Michael and Eric drop their mom off at work, and
Got him.
as they're heading out, Michael says, you know what I feel like? And Eric's like, a Big Mac? And Michael calls him a psychic.
That wasn't appropriate.
That was appropriate. So we ended back at the house and somehow didn't see a shot of a literal McDonald's. But don't worry. We see 2 Coke cans immediately after getting into the house. And the reason for this is because Eric set up a Coca Cola type of trap for Mac. Because I guess aliens love Coca Cola. Mac totally buys into this trap, so I guess it's accurate. So he starts drinking the Coke out of what I'm pretty fucking sure is an old McDonald's cup or something. And anyway, Eric and Deb are hiding in the closet, and they suck Mac up inside of a vacuum. Like, this is
just like the Mars rover bullshit.
and this is an actual vacuum, and it sucks in exactly as the Mars
start
rover.
like freaking out, like doesn't start like shooting sparks and stuff.
Yeah, it
so
starts like
electrical.
spraying everywhere because it's like I guess aliens don't belong in
Which
household
like,
vacuums.
Like lucky guess, guys, that you knew a vacuum would be effective against these fucking aliens.
That was a very good guess. That was very smart of them. So it starts flying around all around the fucking house, and then Michael intervenes and turns the vacuum off. Michael's like, all right, what the fuck is going on, dude? And they reverse the motor on the vacuum to send Mac back out, and we see his hand lift up, and they all approach him in awe.
It's very like Pulp Fiction-y when they open the briefcase, very like over the top, like
No, it totally is.
E.T. like reveal,
Like gold shit, just like, oh. And they need to revive him, so of course they feed him Coca Cola with a straw.
Yep, they knew exactly what would fix him as well.
Coca Cola. So Mother Janet shows up, and they all scramble and attempt to figure out how to handle the situation. Mac gets scared and runs off before she gets into the room. And they try to explain to her that they sucked this creature into the vacuum to prove that he was real, and she's just kind of gives them like the fuck these kids face. So now Mac is reading a newspaper.
As tradition. As
is tradition.
As is tradition.
So Mac's reading this newspaper because he is in touch with society. And I mean, like, I don't know why else would he be reading a newspaper? So anyway, Eric wakes up to some string bell ringing contraption bullshit, and they walk into the house and they see that Mac has cleaned the entire house and set it back to normal for the destruction. And Janet comes out and she's like, "Hey, thanks guys for cleaning the house." And they're like, "No, this was not us." And she's like. And they're like, some little green guy came in and cleaned all this.
Yeah.
And she's like, how am I supposed to believe that some little creature did this? And Michael's like, do you really think that we did this?
Dude, she nailed the joke though.
They
nailed the joke. They nailed the joke. Like it was solid. Like it was solid. Like, do you think we would clean it up? And she's like,
it's kind of like that thing where she.
It was like if my mom realized
it's
it. She's
like,
wait, you're right.
She
like,
looks up into space. She's like, wait a second.
You're right. Like,
this makes perfect sense.
Yeah, there's no way. I actually believe that aliens would come down to it, then my piece of shit children would actually clean up. That's like makes 100% sense. I've been cleaning up after these little assholes for the last like 16 years of their life. I know 100% it wasn't them.
So in response to this, she grabs her Coca Cola and comes to terms with the fact that some kind of weird shit is going on at this point. Yep. And the next thing that we see is the older aliens doing some kind of yoga.
No, aren't they? No, not this. And then this point is when they're like just like passed out by the side of the road, like in the desert. Like they went from being in like the Sahara Desert to being like in New Mexico. Like
they're like doing yoga that can't be explained,
and they're whistling.
They are whistling. So anyway, Mac decides to fucking skirt in this little fucking yellow kid's car down the street.
Dude, yeah, and they're supposed to be like, oh, he's so electrical that he's making this little like power wheels fucking go super fast. Like there's obvious, you can see this giant ass like go-kart engine underneath this thing, and then when he crashes it into the
engine
street,
doesn't work.
By the way, he's being chased by these dogs that are biffing shit on this hot ass asphalt in fucking like Menifee, Arizona. All of a sudden, like, and he crashes the fucking little electric car, and it's like smoking when they zoom out. Like, I don't know if that was the actual vehicle that crashed and it actually caught on fire, or if they like forgot that it was supposed to be like some kid's power wheel and not supposed to catch on fire because it shouldn't be, you know. So inflamed.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Sport pubs.
No. So he ends he gets fucking crash landing. He ends up in a tree, and these dogs, they're not too happy about this.
No, they've been barking. And do they do this weird montage of like him stuck in the tree?
The montage is fucking awesome.
And the mom like jogging with the kid, like showing off her legs, her fucking wheelchair. Like she's like always like 3 steps ahead of him, showing off her fucking beautiful fucking mom's strong legs. Like, and it's like a weird like 3-minute like
it's an 80s song. Friendship montage. That's exactly
it's
what
not
it is.
Even a montage though. It's more of like just like a musical number, like where he's stuck in the tree.
It's a mini montage.
Because the song's about being alone and you're on your own.
It's montage-esque without being a like, full-length montage.
And that's how you know the mom's showing off, because it was a song about like companionship and teamwork and the mom running next to her son, but it was about being alone and being different than everybody else while his mom fucking gracefully gallops in front of him with her fucking big, strong, fucking middle-aged legs. Like, nah, dude, like, nah, fam, like, that was a weird scene. Not for me. That's the last thing I remember. I was kind of drunk after that point.
That's pretty much what was going on. This is the last thing you remember?
That's the last
you zoned out after this?
Oh, dude, totally.
Oh, God.
Totally. That was the last thing I remember.
So, yeah, I'm not really sure how Matt got out of the tree, but at this point, we see some... we seriously see some fucking flowers inside of a Coke can that Eric is playing with. He's just playing with these flowers that are in a Coke can. It's like, what is going on right now? That's the best way to explain this fucking film. So, Debbie shows up at the house to hang with Eric, and we see that Mac is chilling inside the house and is sick for some reason and doesn't want to drink Coca Cola. And Eric's like,
that doesn't make any sense.
You know, I think he's depressed because he's not drinking this Coca Cola. He has to be dying right now. So he starts showing Mac dumb pictures,
dead kids,
saying shit like, "Damn it, I hate you. You don't touch my soundboard anymore. You're doing terrible." You know what? This terrible soundboard is fitting for this episode.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm glad this is the first soundboard episode ever, because I'm never giving Roland access to this again.
That's what she said. Oh, I got it right. I got it right on the worst one.
You know what? You did good that time. You have access again. Damn so just start showing Max some like dumb fucking pictures, saying shit like, "Do you have a family?" And Debbie's mom shows up, and he tells Debbie, he's just like, "All right, so." He's going to take a while to figure some shit out. And he's like, all right. He touches hands with Mac, and it's like, all right, I'm not really sure what happens at this point, but he mutilates a teddy bear and then sticks Mac inside.
Oh, yeah. Like awkward fucking, looks like a Five Nights at Freddy's, like, fucking reject.
Dude, this is the most terrifying teddy bear that you will ever see in your life.
It moves like a little person. Is that the right nomenclature still? Because that's what they use. Like it's like a rejected Ewok.
I'm sorry, I was going to use a bleep right now, but I don't have my bleep set up, so I'm going to go ahead and just Son of a bitch. So this is an attempt to hide from Debbie's mom, and it's worth noting that they're being followed terribly by the Donut Squad that wants Mac for some alien reasonings or something. I can't follow that part of the story. So they're in the car on their way to whatever, and Debbie's mom asks how long Eric has had the teddy bear, and he's like, well, you know.
A long time. I remember that.
A long time. Yeah. And the Mac teddy moves, and she's like, oh, It moves too, and he's like, yeah.
It's one of those new computer teddy bears. Like, yeah, right? He's like, plays off all cool.
And she's like, oh, you said you've had it for a long time? And he's like, oh, yeah, it just got those
upgraded. Like,
it got those new microchips. He just upgraded. Like, it's fine. So now the greatest thing ever fucking happens. And, oh, God. We're at McDonald's now. This is honestly what I was.
Oh, really?
This is honestly what I was waiting for the entire movie. So we're at an actual fucking McDonald's, and it is the greatest scene ever. Mac is stretching his arms in front of other kids and shit, and they're just like, "What what is going on with this?
But like
with this child,
though, right? Like
with this child over here? He's acting a little strange." And we now get a full-on choreography dancing party inside of the McDonald's. I don't remember. You don't remember this?
Don't remember this at all.
This is the best part of the movie. Well, no, it's not. I have some better parts. So, actual fucking Ronald McDonald himself is just casually chilling and, like, dancing in this facility.
Or just some random pedophile waiting to pounce, because, like, who else would actually... There was never an actual Ronald McDonald out there.
Can you not talk about my dad like that? Ronald McDonald is my dad.
Is that really his name?
Yeah, Ronald McDonald.
Your name is Caleb McDonald?
Yeah.
My bad.
So that's how fucking extra this McDonald's is. And Mac does some cartwheels and starts dancing on the counter of McDonald's. And these FBI guys, they're very unsure how to feel at this point. So they just call for backup. And the insane dance party continues. And then the FBI guys walk back inside with a giant metal box. And Mac hops on Eric's wheelchair and dips out with Mac. And this includes them going down this giant hill. And this child is breaking through a fence with his wheelchair and continuing to move, flying through her backyard and getting covered in clothes, riding through the street and causing several freeway incidents. Like, literally, cars are fucking crashing everywhere. And this is all before heroically grabbing onto the tail of a moving vehicle in order to let go of said vehicle and find solace in an everything store where him and Mac use the conveniences of their surroundings to bamboozle this very goofish band of government officials. What the fuck are you watching? You were just pausing the podcast just to watch the dance scene right now? I was going to get mad at you, but I'm okay with this. So the chase continues, and the mom joins before they get swooped up by their getaway vehicle. And this is also very heroically.
Scary.
It's not scary. The thing.
Nobody would let me watch this movie. Dude, when he reaches out from the teddy bear, I'm not trying to be on camera right now.
You should be on camera. You should say everything you're thinking.
I can't. Dude, when he reaches out from the fucking teddy bear costume, that is terrifying, dude.
It's fucking awesome.
That is terrifying.
No, that's awesome. This is a very good movie.
You like that so? Oh my god, that is terrifying.
So this chase continues, and the mom joins. Oh my god,
you put that in that girl's lap?
So they get swooped up by their getaway vehicle, also heroically. And the kids debate between turning Mac in and saving his family.
McDonald's so bad.
Oh, you should. It's a very. I actually remember some of these McDonald's when I was younger. I really
miss the big open ones like that.
Yeah. I miss the McDonald's like that.
And it would always be like in a forest, like behind some fucking business complex. I've been to one of these before. Dude, I want to go to where they have those weird Burger King windows where they like curved at the top.
Yeah.
This is such a good scene.
So, he's fucking saving his family and shit, and they decide to save the family, and they introduce Skittles into the list of advertisements at this point. Yeah. This is when Skittles come into the movie.
Heavy Skittles.
So they're driving out in the middle of nowhere, and they start following horses, or like, I don't know, they're following them because we see some kind of signal. We see a shit ton of windmills, and Eric immediately goes, "Oh, windmills! That's why he made all those straw things." Because he made like he put like a bunch of straws on a table and made them look like windmills. And he was like, "I don't know what this is, or these flowers."
Oh, that's where he landed?
He's referring...
In the Mojave Desert?
I don't know. That's just where his family happens to be or something. So he's referring, to these weird fucking straw things from earlier. And Mac then walks up to all the windmills and whistles a little tune for his buds. And he thinks he's found them, so... He points to some little mine shack, and they all drive up to it, and they all just get slashed to fucking bits by, like, an Axeman murderer.
There's so many people in this fucking movie. Could you imagine being like, I was a Mac and me. I was on, oh my god, Ronald McDonald's there.
You just ignored the fact that I said that they all just got murdered by an Axeman.
Are they okay?
Well, I'm just joshing you, so... This douchebag, Michael, or whatever his name is, goes inside with Mac to investigate, and he sees some weird, tall-looking dudes, all super, like, dead-looking and shit. And they kind of just, like, poke them in the eyes and shit, and, like, they start to twitch.
Those kids almost got hit by a vehicle.
You know what? You're, like, 3 scenes back right now. You know that, right?
I feel like I'm from the future, dog.
You're like 3 scenes back
Dude,
right
oh
now.
my god, look how cool his shoes are.
Oh my god. You're like rewatching the movie as we're talking about it. So, to fully revive them, they feed these aliens Coca Cola with a straw, and they all drink the decadent soda and come back to life, as I would if I drank some Coca Cola.
I ain't bullshit. There's a reason why they focus. Look how good this little kid is that dancing. That's actually really
Yeah, I actually paid attention to the movie.
Look at this one.
No, I don't need to see it again. I
Look
pied
at
it.
her. Look at her. She's almost there.
No, yeah, I know. I remember this scene extensively.
Yeah,
I
there's
actually
a reason why they focus on. Dude, look at how fucking good that
You're not even talking into the mic, so no one knows what you're saying. Yeah, it's an awesome scene. It's an awesome scene, and you would know that if you watch the movie.
It's hard to watch, except for this part. This is really easy to watch. This is awesome.
Dude, all of this movie is easy to watch. It goes by so fucking fast.
It was so boring up until this point.
No, it was not. You're
I
fucking
feel like it's
wrong.
gonna get boring after this part when they leave the Jurassic Park McDonald's.
You're so wrong, and I'm gonna get to it right now. So one of them is getting all wavy and shit because he wants some more Coca-Cola. But then he sees like Little Mac and he chills out. He's like, oh, this is my homie. So they head over to a gas station, and some chick in a convertible is drinking soda and listening to country music. And one of the Big Macs actually breaks the
Shit
window
from
at this point.
Arizona.
I hate you. The Mac grabs this girl's fucking soda and starts chugging. And she totally overreacts and screams and drives off just because some alien with stretchy arms, stole her soda. It's whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
He gets chonies wrapped around his head when they go through the laundry line.
Yeah, they do. And the kids run into the store and let the elders know that the aliens got out. You know we're going to get, copyrighted for you just playing this whole movie in the background right now?
What movie? You think McDonald's is really going to come after us for this shit?
Do you really think McDonald's won't come after us for this?
I don't think they can hear what it is. We're not using the whole thing. We're talking over it. It's satire. A bunch of other things so we don't get pulled. Wait, you don't make money off this anyway, stupid. What are they to come after you for? Your fucking the 4 hairs on your chest? I don't know what the fuck you want from them.
I rip my chest hairs out. Natural alarm clock. Now Hannibal Buress is going to copyright me. So the kids run to the store and let the elders know that
I'd
the
be more
aliens
worried about
got out.
that. He took down Cosby, dude.
Oh, dude, Hannibal Buress could fuck me up. So yeah, these.
Wait, you should have stopped. You went too long with the up part.
So they end up in a grocery store and are just casually walking around, and everyone is fucking pissed. Some of them knock down an entire display of Coke, and another one of them grabs a...
I love that they're throwing the clothes like they're bananas in Mario. Like they're going to fucking trip on the fucking shirts that they're throwing off his wheelchair that they're fucking holding onto the back of a truck like a Tony Hawk game. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? He throws them with so much vigor. He's like, oh, take this blouse to your Cadillac. Like, I'll show you.
Anyway,
okay, where were we? The mall?
Let's get back on the same page. Now, turn your fucking phone off.
That's not going to help anything.
Oh, my God. It's going to help a lot of things. It's going to help keep a coherent podcast where you listen to what I'm saying and you talk with me.
Okay.
I'm fucking going straight through these notes.
I can do that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So these things escalate when a mall cop shows up and points a gun at the biggest one. And he walks toward him and he grabs the gun casually.
The biggest what?
What?
Biggest what?
The biggest Mac, like the biggest alien, the tallest alien.
There's more of them?
We talked. I'm gonna destroy you. So he fucking grabs this gun, and it's not like an aggression thing. It's kind of like he just grabs his gun because he's like, what is this? And he starts like pointing it around, like moving around. He's like, oh, and everyone's just like, oh fuck, he has a gun.
Are they magnetic too? I can't remember. I think they might be. I think if you're electrical, you're probably magnetic.
I think they are when they want to be.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. They're also dolphins when they want to be. So.
Yeah, I'll take that. So they walk outside, and all of a sudden, the entire fucking police force is here for this just mildly awkward situation with like one alien with a gun. I guess maybe the police force should be there.
Is that a thing that's ever happened, by the way, for a runaway?
The alien stealing a gun and then SWAT teams showing up?
No, when a kid like loses track on a wheelchair, like there's a really like no emergency brake. If you just hit the wrong hill on the wrong.
Wait, are
day,
we back to the beginning of the movie now?
We're back to the beginning of the movie, but no.
Can we be on the same page?
Yeah, but page 1. No, is that a thing though? Is like, has anybody ever died because their wheelchair fucking like gave out on them? Like their brakes, somebody cut the brakes on the wheelchair. Like, is that a way to
like? Has anyone ever died from that?
I mean, I'm sure. Statistically,
I'm sure someone has
happen,
died
right?
from like everything.
Is it more common than having aliens come into your life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, No.
I want to find a statistic on that.
Well, no. Actually, you know what?
I mean, I've seen it happen. I've seen aliens coming into somebody's life on multiple movies. I've only seen a kid in a wheelchair lose control going down.
Oh wait, are we talking about movies or real life?
I think either or. I think
either or. I think aliens coming into your life are highly more likely than
funny?
you.
You know, it's funny.
Losing control in a wheelchair.
One of my best friends, when we were in 5th grade, I don't remember how he broke his leg, but he ended up breaking his leg, and so he was in a wheelchair for a little bit. And we had very sloped like hallways, like to where they're like dramatically sloped. He's like, just push me down them. Just push me down. I was like, okay, like we're like kids, we're in 5th grade, and you want to be pushed down the fucking slope, like, and I'm talking about dramatic, like maybe like a 20% centigrade. I don't know if I said the right words, but it was like a pretty decent slope. And after there was like 4 of them consecutive, so it would like go down a slope, then level out, then go down another slope. After the second slope, he had so much speed that he caught air, and when you get air in a wheelchair, it throws you out of it and it collapses behind you. So he landed in just like a mess. He landed like in a mess, and the fucking wheelchair behind him like collapsed and landed on its side like a seahorse out of water. And my friend was just like he was laughing, but it didn't look like it felt good.
You know, this is a different story, but this actually reminds me of the time that I was driving around in my old Toyota Celica with my buddy AJ, and there was a speed bump that I did not notice, and I was dipping like fucking like at least 90 or 100.
Back seat, front seat.
I was driving.
Oh, okay.
And
he was in the back seat.
He was in the passenger seat actually, but no.
Back seat.
We're racing. Actually,
he's not even in the car with you?
He was not in the car with me. He was actually behind me. I got this story messed up. We were racing, like literally on a street, the street over from where we are right now. We're racing right over here, and we get to the top of the road, and there's this speed bump, and he knew it was there. I did not know it was there. Was not paying attention. I hit the speed bump, and I caught so much air. I fucking flew in my car. I flew and I landed. I'm pretty sure my shocks got like destroyed. We park and pull over because I'm pretty sure I fucked up the bumper to my car. And AJ gets out and he's like, I saw you catch like 3 feet of air, and I was like, I think that was more because it did not feel too good. Moral of the story,
I was like, you're like nothing is tighter than your butthole than a midair like American car up in the fucking like 5 feet in the air. Your orifices
Toyota's not American.
My America.
I don't think Toyota's American.
The planet's America.
I'm positive Toyota isn't American.
The planet is my America.
So
we're Mars, like Mac and Mars.
So we're talking about the pavement being American?
Pavement's very American.
Okay, I'll take that.
Most.
Anyway, speaking of cars, the aliens try to get into a car, and Eric chases them after all of them, and the cops start shooting like fucking goddamn crazy, but they miss every single shot on these fucking aliens.
A couple of stormtroopers.
But that's exactly what I wrote down. But what they do is they hit a conveniently placed gas tank, so the entire store blows up.
Mac and me in our days and our nights.
Not only does the entire hold on.
I want Mac and me.
Not only does the entire fucking store blow up, but Eric blows. And during this explosion, you actually see the silhouette of Eric's wheelchair. This is literally just a piece of cardboard taped onto the shot.
It looks like the handicap sign in midair. It's like the way I describe it. Like it looks like if somebody like cut out the handicap sign. Like they instead of like doing an accurate portrayal of what a human would look like in a fucking.
It's a cardboard cutout.
It's a cardboard.
It's a fucking cardboard cutout.
We just fucking ninja stars a cardboard cutout across the fucking night sky. Dude.
So when everyone sees this happening, they run over to assist Eric in his combustion. And Michael is actually in the back of a cop car at this point, and one cop tells another cop to watch them, and this dude walks up to Eric's door and opens it for him, and then he tries to stop him. But when he runs out the door, I had to rewind, but to make sure that I wasn't wrong. But I was not wrong. Like this cop was just like, "Wait, stop! don't go. And then Eric just kind of like just walks out. It's fine. It's fine. So everyone's around Eric, who's fucking dead.
I really don't remember.
Wait, I fucked up the names, actually. I meant to say Michael was the dude at the back of the cop car. I wrote Eric, so that's why I fucked that up. Eric's a wheelchair kid.
Yeah, Eric can't walk.
Eric cannot walk. So he totally should be alive because there wasn't a scratch on this fucking guy's body. But apparently these actors and actresses are acting their fucking asses off for this death scene. Like, I am talking, these guys are acting to the fucking extreme. And all of a sudden, the mother gets flown in on a fucking helicopter to watch her kid, like, die. And shit.
It's a big day for the mom, dude. She's had a real big day. A lot of new experiences.
And shit keeps exploding because this is literally the biggest fire that you will ever see in your life. And then all of the alien creatures walk out to hang out with the grieving family. And every official in the world is here now. Like, I mean, I'm talking like the FBI, the fucking the NRA, the fucking the NBA is probably here. Everyone is here. And why did the mother fly in on a helicopter? Do you have an issue with that?
Because she likes to be pimping like Jay-Z.
Okay. So shit keeps exploding because, it's fucking insane. All the alien creatures walk out to hang out with the grieving family, and none of them care about these fucking creatures that they were just trying to obliterate 5 minutes ago because, I don't know, tragedy, man, you know? Tragedy happens, you gotta shift. You gotta shift the blame
elsewhere. Is Mac the baby or is Mac the
Mac's the baby?
Mac's the baby.
Mac's the smallest one, yeah.
Mac's the baby. Okay.
So these alien things really...
I feel like they're all about to have sex.
No, they're not.
At like any point in this movie, though. You know what I mean? Like not just at the end, but I mean like.
Wait, who? Who's gonna have sex with?
I feel like it's like a softcore, like a Skinamax movie.
Like you think Eric is gonna bone Mac?
His mom, dude. His mom's hot.
I mean, yeah, his mom's hot, but you think the kid in the wheelchair is gonna?
The mom is the only actress that's been in more than 3 things. I'm sure.
Well, first of all, I think he's like 11 in this movie.
Gross, dude.
So, did you say roasted or gross?
Gross, dude.
Well, yeah, you're the one talking about. Okay, let's move on. So these alien things.
I'm not gonna bang him. The mom is.
That's still wrong.
Yeah.
Oh. So these aliens, they came through with some gang shit because they use their magic hand power things to bring Eric back to life with some flashy voodoo witch magic kind of shit. And it's like...
It looked like the Deadlights.
Like the what?
The Deadlights from every Stephen King stuff.
Oh, my God. So, all right, like, I'm going to give it to you guys. On paper, this does not sound right or accurate. But... it works.
Yeah, they're doing like some voodoo shit. I like that they're fucking like alien super like technology ritual like looks like as light as a feather, stiff as a board. Like nothing fucking like
The Craft.
It's some basic fucking like junior high shit. The mom's all involved. Like you're not doing anything, mom. You're just fucking you're putting your hands up too.
You're just kind of there as fires, whatever. So it works. I'm really trying to meet the guy that handled all of this, like whoever
They're
had
not real aliens. There's no alien.
No, I'm talking about whoever handled this scene.
So they brought him back to life. Is that the moral of the story? Is these aliens have these crazy resurrected power that they only use on their personal friends, and they can't start saving people across the planet? Sequel.
So the final few minutes are fucking absolute comedic gold. Because we end out in a goddamn church or like official business place or something. It's not a church. It's totally
They're
like
getting like nationalized.
Yes,
right?
yes. They are becoming American citizens.
I remember the ending from when I was a kid.
These aliens, they're dressed in fucking suits.
Dude, but the first family, like in the 80s, like,
yes.
right?
Yes,
I'm waiting for it right now.
It's fucking top tier. It is absolutely
Oh my God, there it is.
They are wearing cute little, they're wearing cute little bow ties.
Mac's a boy, right?
I kind of feel like they're genderless, but at the same time, they also kind of go to social norms.
Sister. He has an older sister.
You're right, but how do we know what gender they are? Aren't they naked the whole movie?
Yeah, but not when they're fucking nationalized. Now they're not savages
anymore,
like
snakes?
Dude. They're not savages anymore. They're
like snakes?
American.
You have to like look in their butthole to see.
You don't have to look. I mean, you could ask them. You could try
Just
asking first. Did you even ask your snake? What is?
Hey,
yeah, Mac's like a little like soccer player, and everybody else is like dressed up. Yeah, they went hard on the gender roles. It's not me.
And you know what?
He kissed it. Dude.
You know what's really funny about this too? The mom is wearing earrings, and I just want to talk about this.
So ugly. Why not just make cute aliens?
Rolling. This. Hold on. You're rolling over something. You're Rolanding over something. The fact that her ears are pierced means that she had to go to a piercing shop and sit down and get her ears pierced.
They went pirate status, dude. That dad was like, you better not fucking move.
You think that's what happened?
Grab an ice cube, Missy.
Okay, so we both have our own. We both have our own scenarios.
Dude,
I
the
personally
mom
think
is
she went to a tattoo
so
shop.
creepy looking.
She looks fucking awesome.
No, I don't like it.
I think it's pretty awesome.
She looks like my great grandfather's penis, and that's just from experience.
So they're all announced citizens of America, and all of the humans start kissing the aliens and shit. And the last shot of this movie.
We'll be back. There's a sequel.
Yep, it is.
Waiting.
It is that
waiting.
of the entire
Fucking ready.
It's the entire alien family in a pink convertible, and the daddy alien is driving like a true
and then he
fucking
gets shot in
American.
the head like JFK. Dude.
I was just gonna say,
it looks just like it. It looks like
that's exactly what they were alluding to.
Yeah, that's what it seems. We'll be back, but in Texas with our.
And then you hear the sniper shot. So yeah, there's this pink animated bubble gum that pops up, and it says, "We'll be back." And that's how we end this 5 out of 5 star film.
I give it a 4.
Nice joke, Roland. This is a great movie.
That was your newest episode of Floor Podcast.
Floor Popcorn, Next Level Opinions. Floor Podcast.
I said Floor Podcast.
Floor Podcast, Next Level.
I'm only saying that because I'm laying on the floor because of my herniated disc. I'm sorry. I've been laying on the floor the whole time.
He's sitting in a chair. I'm lying to you. He stood up for a while. Now he's sitting.
I'm embarrassed.
He wants to lie to you to seem cool, but
I'm embarrassed. I wanted to seem cool so bad.
He's actually not that cool. He's like moderately cool.
All right, folks, catch me on Horror Suit Podcast. I'll be your host, the one with the big thoughts.
And that is Caleb, and I am Roland. Thank you for listening to this beautiful episode of Floor Popcorn.
Do you think your snake's going to die if you don't feed
popcorn.
it food soon? Sorry, bro.